What's going on, everybody? Blueandgold.com recruiting insider Mike Singer on the Zoom call today with Notre Dame Fighting Irish offensive tackle pledge Joe Alt, who picked the Fighting Irish July 6th. Joe, first question for you. How does it feel to be committed? Recruiting process is over for you. Clearly, you're rocking the Notre Dame hat, man. How are the first few days here of the committed life?
It's been awesome. I'm really excited about it, and I feel very comfortable. I think it was definitely the right decision.
Cool. So want to go back, like maybe freshman, maybe 8th grade freshman year, 10th grade. What positions were you playing? What was your height, weight back then, leading up to now?
Yeah, so believe it or not, I actually grew up my whole life playing at quarterback. So I was a little bit bigger, heavier quarterback, but I did play quarterback all the way up till 9th grade. And then 10th grade, I made the switch to inside linebacker. I was probably 5'11", 6 foot at that point, probably 200 pounds. And I really kind of started to grow there in my end of my sophomore year for football to my junior year. So I ended up being a 6'3", 200-pound inside linebacker my sophomore year. And then junior year, I moved to tight end, and I played probably about 6'6", 230 last year, and now I'm up to 6'7", about 260, 265 right now.
So tell me about the recruiting process. Like, when did you first start getting recruited, like hear from coaches, and then at what point was it like, oh, man, like now I'm a Power 5 level recruit?
Yeah, so I did a whole bunch of camps last summer. That was kind of the first time I'd really been kind of recruiting and stuff. So I did a whole bunch of camps in the summertime, and then started getting some like the game day invites to come. So it kind of started last year, and then I kind of got my first offer in late fall, and that's when I kind of realized that it could be kind of a big thing for me.
Were you surprised, like when you first started getting recruited, and then that Minnesota offer was the first one last November, I believe? So was it a surprise to start getting recruited at the Power 5 level?
Yeah, I had no idea. I was kind of new to this. I had never been recruited like that before, so going in, I was just going to normal game day, and I ended up getting offered before the game. I had no idea that it was going to happen. So, yeah, it was definitely a surprise.
Now, Notre Dame offered late May. Tell me about what your reaction was to getting that one. Was that a big surprise for you?
Yeah, it was super exciting. I mean, the communication with them really heated up early this spring. So it was super exciting. I mean, a very prestigious school, both academically and football related. So I was super excited and thrilled, and it's paid off.
Yeah, so I know you kind of unofficially narrowed things down to Iowa, Minnesota, Notre Dame. Of course, Iowa, your dad played there before a tremendous career in the NFL. Minnesota, the local school, and you picked Notre Dame. I don't think you've even been able to really talk to those coaches face to face. So you picked the school that you knew the least about and you had been to the least. So how hard was it to turn down Iowa and Minnesota, and kind of why Notre Dame?
Yeah, it definitely was a tough decision. I mean, every school had a great thing about them, and I just found with Notre Dame it was kind of paving my own path. And it had, I mean, really it's different than any other college I visited or even talked to, with just the feel from it. No other school has a kind of a faith aspect like that, and that was one of my main reasons why I really, really liked Notre Dame. And academics are very important to me as well. So, I mean, it kind of just beat out the other two schools in those aspects, and football as well. So I just kind of felt that that's why, paving my own path at Notre Dame was for me.
Now, you took your own self-guided tour of Notre Dame. Obviously, we're in the midst of a dead period because of the coronavirus pandemic. So you went to Notre Dame, and believe you said it was late June. Tell me about that, your first experience at Notre Dame. I know you couldn't get into a lot of buildings. I think the bookstore was open. Maybe that's where you got your fresh hat, your visor there. But, just tell me about the feeling at Notre Dame.
Yeah, so I just felt for me that I was seriously considering it, so I had to go see it if I was going to make a decision on it. So yeah, I literally went down there on a Thursday and Friday and just kind of walked around and just looked at everything. Obviously, couldn't get into anything. I had to get into the bookstore off campus to get this hat, but it just had a great feel for me. I just really liked the campus feel. A lot of schools I toured kind of amongst the city. Name just felt like Notre Dame. It just felt like everything was right there, and I had a really good feel when I was walking on that campus, and I think that's one of the main reasons why I ended up committing there, just because it felt right.
Tell me about the coaching staff. Obviously Coach Quinn, the offensive line coach. Sure, you had some conversations with Coach Reese, the offensive coordinator, Coach Kelly, head coach, recruiting coordinator Brian Polian. Just how important was that staff and you picking Notre Dame?
It was super important. I mean, I had very little knowledge when I got the offer from Notre Dame, and just them kind of sitting down in front of me and giving everything and telling them everything about themselves, and just me kind of really getting to take that information and really connect with them. I feel like I connected with that coaching staff better than any coaching staff I've really talked to. And, I just think their values in the same place as mine, so I think I connected really well with all of them.
Tell me about your dad in the recruiting process. Like, what did he really teach you that you really valued as you navigated trying to pick a school?
Yeah, my dad had always been like, this is your decision. So he was really good about just kind of showing me the things I might forget or not see in the recruiting process. If I got really focused on one thing, to make sure I saw the whole picture. So he was really good about that, and just really just supporting me to find what's best for me, and not pushing me in one direction or another, but like I said, just kind of allowing me to pave my own path and find the right spot for myself.
I need to ask you this before I forget, Joe. I'm curious. I know you're around 6'7", 255, 260, right? What did you play at during your junior season?
Yeah, so I just kind of slowly gained weight through my junior season. I actually started off around like 220, 218, and I ended up in the season about 230, 235. But I really kind of, with this whole Corona and stuff, I really just focused on eating right, putting in the weight. So I think I started off about 240, and I'm up about 265 right now, just focusing on getting into the weight room. Yeah, I'm putting on the weight. I'm just kind of what my main focus is right now. So I'm just working hard on that and trying to get bigger.
Wow. Do you have goals for, like, maybe by the end of summer I want to be here, by December I want to be here?
Yeah, I think right now the big term goal for me was 275, 280 kind of going into the spring next year.
Man, going from 220, I mean, man, is your body handling it all right? Because you seem to be doing it the right way.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I was talking, so obviously I hadn't seen any coaches, from the coronavirus to now. So it was our first full practice back, and he said, I've never seen a kid grow up so high in 1 year, and then in 4 months grow out to the width of your shoulders and the body and stuff like that. So, I mean, like you said, I think I'm definitely doing it right and putting on the right kind of weight, and it's been fun, but it's been a grind.
That's awesome. Okay, back to Notre Dame now. I just had to ask that before I forgot.
No, you're fine.
Committing, you announced it the 6th. Is that when did you tell them that day, or was it like a few days before? Which coaches was it? What was that whole conversation like?
Yeah, it was with Coach Quinn. I just I got a good feeling, or late June there, and I just kind of told him the week before. I was like, I think I'm kind of done with this whole recruiting process, and I think I'm going to plan to make a decision on July 6th, and I think it's going to be Notre Dame with everything that I've felt. So went up to the cabin on the 4th of July and kind of sat down with my family, and we actually, believe it or not, I have 4 siblings, and they're all married and everything. So everybody was up there, and they actually all put it into the hat where they want to see me go. And it was, I think there's one person who didn't put Notre Dame in there. So everybody wanted me to go there. Everybody feels like it's the right fit for me. So, I mean, I took that and I thought, well, why not? So that was very helpful for me to know that everybody had my support, and it was Notre Dame from there on.
For sure. So tell Coach, did you give Coach Quinn that final word on the 6th?
Yeah, I call him. We talked that morning. I said I just want to let you know that 3:30 will be the time that I'm committing, and then I actually ended up calling their coaches and everybody, and making that, and Coach Kelly, and telling them that I plan to commit at 3:30.
You were right on time too. A lot of kids say I'm going to commit on this time, and then it's like 45 minutes later. So from a reporter's perspective, thank you very much, Joe. Last thing. So you're the 3rd offensive line commit in the class. I know once you committed, all the other Notre Dame pledges are tweeting at you, "Let's go, Joe," all that stuff. So tell me about those guys. I'm sure you got added to the group chat right away. What have you thought about your fellow commits?
I think I get along with them very well. I actually was talking to Blake Fisher and Pat Coogan way before that. I kind of got their numbers early on. I've been chatting with them. So I think I started a good base of friendships, and I hope to grow them, in the next 4 to 5 years.
All right, Joe, I appreciate you joining the Zoom call. Best of luck in your growth for the rest of this year, and certainly best of luck with your career for the Fighting Irish.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.